channel. So as you can tell from the title of this video, the house that my husband and I were beginning to build here in the US is no longer going to be going forward. We have decided, well, it's going forward, but not with us. My husband and I have decided not to purchase that home. So if you've been watching these videos of mine for a while, you'll know that we purchased a home with an American new build construction company called KB Home. So we purchased the home and we picked out the floor plan. We picked out all of the design elements that are going to go into the home, like the finishings and all that. And we began construction probably, I want to say construction started in September, the very end of September. So I showed a couple videos about, the plot of land that we bought, going to the design studio, the initial phases of constructing the home. And my plan was I was going to show you guys how a home in America is built, at least in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's very different from the way Ethiopian homes are constructed. All of the homes here in Las Vegas are constructed of mainly wood. So I was going to show you that whole process from start to finish. And my husband and I were very excited about this new house. Literally, we were going to the construction site every day, multiple times a day, like just always wanted to be there because we had never constructed our own home before. So the whole idea was very exciting to us. And so one day when I was out taking my youngest son for a walk through that neighborhood to kind of take another sneak peek at the house and the construction process, we ran into an older couple, probably, I would say in their 60s, maybe late 60s, 70s. And they were also taking a walk through the neighborhood. So, I'm a very friendly person. I just was like, hello, hi, how are you? And so they kind of stopped and began talking to me. And it was such a random encounter. I didn't know them, they didn't know me. But it was a husband and a wife from Romania. And so they saw this necklace that I wear and asked me, are you Orthodox? And I said, no, I'm not Orthodox, but, I did buy this cross in Ethiopia. And, I'm a Christian. I think it's a really beautiful cross and, whatever. So they told me that they are Orthodox Romanian. And they were talking about how they have lived in America for, I think, like 20 years or something, like a really long time. And they were just in town in Las Vegas visiting family. And they're saying, are you buying one of these new construction homes? And I was like, yeah, we're buying, my husband and I are buying one of these homes. That's our plot over there. And I asked them, are you guys buying one? And, they were like, oh no, we're just being nosy, just wanting to see what's going on with these new homes. And, then the husband starts to tell me, America is not the America that it used to be. And he's saying, it's really starting to go downhill, specifically economically, but also culturally. The values, American values are changing. They used to be more traditional and I would even say Christian based. And, now it's very different. So, he's going on and saying, I was telling him about our land and our home build in Ethiopia as well that was going on. And he was saying, that's perfect. If you can, don't stay here in America for too long. Take your children and raise them outside of the country. And I was like, oh, okay, wow, yeah. And his wife was standing there. She was like, agreeing with him and providing her 2 cents as well. So, that was a very interesting encounter, and we continued our walk. And, I didn't think too much of it. I just thought that was so random. And also seemed like it was divine, maybe they were sent by God to bring that message to me. I was thinking all this stuff. So also around the same time that little encounter happened with the Romanian couple, my husband and I ran into like a little bit of a bill that we had to pay. I mean, it wasn't a bill, it was something came up. And so we had to spend about $5,000 unexpectedly. And so it was just like the meeting, and then this thing that came up that caused us to have to spend money that we were not planning to spend was all happening at the same time. And it really had me thinking. So I called my husband. He was at work at the time, or I texted him and I said, you know, I'm starting to think that we're not really supposed to be buying this house right now, the one in America. And I wasn't sure what his response was going to be. I thought he was just going to be like, okay, why do you say that? You guys, he responded to me and said, you know what? I've been thinking the same thing for about 2 weeks now. I'm like, 2 weeks? Why didn't you tell me that you were thinking that? And he said, you know, I know that we were both really excited about the house, and I didn't want to, you know, disappoint you until I knew for sure that this wasn't the move we're supposed to make. So it just worked out that God confirmed for me and for my husband that this is not the time to be buying this house right now. And I felt such a relief when I heard that he felt the same way. And I know he felt relief when he heard I felt the same way. And so, you know, it was a confirmation for both of us from the Lord. So, you know, we finished our day and he finished his work day, came home. And later when we were talking about it, we were just recognizing and reflecting on the fact that buying a house or building a house, buying a house in America is a step backwards for us. You know, even though I said in my previous video, it would be an investment for us. We would keep it long term, and maybe rent it out, blah, blah, blah. Like, the more we talked about it, we were just like, what were we thinking? Because we didn't want to take on that much debt again, you know, by taking on a mortgage. And we had already gone through this whole process where we sold our house, sold our cars, moved to Ethiopia, and we're debt-free, like essentially debt-free. And so we felt that, you know, getting another mortgage would be going back into a large amount of debt. And then on top of that, even if we kept the house and rented it out while we were living in Ethiopia or something, we would still be responsible for property taxes in the US on that house. And it would be just like, why? What's the point? And then if we decided to sell it later on, you know, maybe it would be difficult to sell. You know, maybe we wouldn't make very much money on it, because if you're in the US and you've been watching, you know, the economy and mortgage rates, I mean, mortgage rates were going like up, 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 up. They've come down a little bit, but they'll probably go back up again. I mean, and the economy, the US economy has been going down, 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 right? And so we're seeing these red flags, we're seeing these warning signs, and it's like, this is not our future. We already decided that our future is Ethiopia. So instead of putting, you know, tens of thousands of US dollars into a house that is really not going to benefit us in any way, is really not our long-term vision or goal, we could use that money to send to Ethiopia and build our house, our own actual house that is ours, quickly, faster. And so, you know, that's what we decided to do. So we backed out of our contract with KB Home, and we have decided to rent, because, you know, we know that our time here in the US is temporary, and we will be returning to Ethiopia at some point. And so we really just are trying to remain as free as possible, not to enter back into bondage. And it's so interesting that all of this stuff is happening at the same time. I'm sure you all have noticed, even on YouTube or in your own personal lives, in your prayer time, if you go to church, like there's a running theme. And I think the theme is that there's an awakening for Africans that is happening now. People of African descent. People are waking up, and we're recognizing who we are. We're recognizing the greatness of our continent. We're recognizing the greatness of our people. And so this is a really exciting time. There was a UK Nigerian prophet who was saying, he gave a word from the Lord for Africa. and African Americans. And basically in that word, he was saying like, this is the time that Africa will rise. This is her season. And he also included, I don't know if it was the same prophecy or a previous one, where he was saying like, do what you can to get out of debt, right? And all of this, like we had already determined these things in our heart prior to hearing any of that. But all of this is a confirmation for us and hopefully for you that now is the time to, take off the shackles and become free, become financially free, become socially free. And if you're able to purchase land, do that. If you're able to build your own house, do that. Make strategic moves at this time while, the American economy is still kind of, it's shaky, but it is still standing. And make these strategic moves at this time to prepare yourself for what is coming. I really didn't even intend to go into all of that in this video, but, I think that's wisdom. And so hopefully you've been watching my videos and taking to heart what I've been saying, and even yourself, like coming up with your own strategies and plans for how to position yourself to have wealth, even in a time of, maybe famine or a time of lack. When the rest of the world is going through that, you will be able to say that you are secure, you're financially secure, because you've built a solid foundation, of course, on Christ, and you have planned your strategy and your way ahead. So, we're very happy with our decision. We are confident. We're not sad at all about losing that house, even though we were super excited about it in the beginning. Like, I think we regained our focus, and for a moment we were getting distracted and almost made a big mistake by purchasing that house. But, we're back on track. And I'm going to keep making these videos, and I hope you are going to keep following us on our journey to freedom and back to the motherland. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share. All right, see you in the next one. Bye.